Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Youthman. Over the past week, I had an absolute blast. I flew a friend of mine down, the gentleman that actually built my front cabinet, and he and I were able to hang out for the past week. And during that week, honestly, we were able to just do some things that I've been meaning to do here in the theater room for quite some time. As you know, here on the channel, I make content on home theater. So I do home theater tours, which I absolutely love. I believe that providing these tours allows some inspiration and gives you ideas of how others have built their home theater, and hopefully that spurs some thoughts in your mind that you can implement when you're building out your home theater. So I love doing that. I also do product reviews around home theater, such as the Sonus Faber Olympica Nova 3s that I've got over here off to my left. These are incredible speakers. I'll have a complete review here in the next week or two on the channel. I've also got another LG Ultra Short Throw that I'll be reviewing here on the channel, as well as quite a few other items. But as a result of doing product reviews as well as home theater tours, I stay super busy, and oftentimes my own home theater is the last thing that gets any attention. I never feel like my room is really truly dialed in, because I'm always swapping out amplifiers and speakers and AVRs and processors. And so I'm always making changes to it, and it's difficult to even just focus on my home theater. And so when he flew down this past week, I really was able to just kind of take a time out and just kind of hang out with him, enjoy my home theater. We even went over to another gentleman's home theater that's local here. Had an awesome time with Casey. He's got a super dope home theater. We'll be sharing that during the home theater or Florida home theater tour here probably in the next 3 or 4 weeks. But you'll get a chance to see that. But we were able to go over there and just enjoy it. So it was just a super refreshing time for me as a content creator, just to really enjoy the hobby, to enjoy my home theater, doing some demos with him, making some changes in the theater room, and like I said, just catching up. One of the things in a lot of my videos, you probably noticed, there used to be a big wire that kind of hang down right behind my head. That was my HDMI cable. I made a video last week while he was here. We were looking at it. I'm like, man, I really want to run that cable through the attic, but honestly, dude, I hate going into a Florida attic. It's a pain even just to get into my attic, because I have to remove all of the stuff out of my daughter's closet to get access to that panel, and then climb all the way down to the theater room and fish that wire. And he's like, you know what? We could probably do that just using a pull string. And so he was able to teach me how to do a half hitch and just kind of some ways. And having two people there, one to push up on the wire, another to pull down, really made it super simple. It was just really, really easy, barely an inconvenience.
Actually, it's going to be super easy, barely an inconvenient.
We just had a great time, getting that. So that's one thing we knocked out. Another thing is my kids got me this super cool custom metal sign that says Youthman's Home Theater. It's incredible. Absolutely love it. It was a great personalized gift. My kids bought it for me for Christmas, or they ordered it at Christmas, but it didn't come until kind of like mid to late January. So it's been back there for several weeks, just sitting on the floor, waiting for me to have time to install it. Only took a few minutes, but it was one of those things, again, that just kind of got pushed off to the side and neglected. So we got that hung up. Another thing I've been wanting to try is, many months ago, I added the Gik Acoustic Panels, and I absolutely love these. They've really, really enhanced the, just kind of taming the reflections in the room. I had some hard surfaces in the back wall, also had some hard, a complete hard surface on the ceiling. But the one thing I've always kind of, and I even mentioned this in the review, is Gik sent me basically combo panels for the side walls and the rear walls. And so these are panels that are absorptive, so they absorb the sound, but then they also have a plate on the front, a wooden plate, that kind of acts as a diffuser, so it diffuses some of the sound too. Well, in my brain, I'm thinking, okay, with the front panels, those are your first reflection point. That's the first sound that gets reflected off your walls. And so typically, my understanding is you want to kind of tame those. You want to pretty much stop those from reflecting from that wall. So when I installed those, it definitely made the room like bigger. Like you get this wider, kind of more, I guess my room isn't massive anyway, but it just kind of makes my room feel bigger. And that's partially because it's diffusing that sound, making the room seem bigger. But kind of in my brain, I'm thinking, okay, what would it sound like if I were to just stop those reflections? I like this, but I wonder if it will help out and even improve the dialogue and improve just that that imaging, from my front sound stage. And so again, that was another one of those things in my brain I wanted to do, just never really took the time to do it. So I'm like, you know what, let's go and pop these off. Let's listen to it. And so we both agreed. We popped them off and we like the way that they sound. I still need to run Odyssey because now we've changed kind of the acoustics in the room, even if it's just that one first reflection point. But I no longer have the visual reflection from my screen and the projector kind of bouncing off that wooden plate. But now I believe I'm going to get a cleaner, tighter sound from that. And so we just added the little screws back in there just so there wouldn't be a hole in the fabric, and it ties it in with the look and design and the decor of the other panels. And so then the last thing is, while he was here, I said, man, I've been wanting to fix my screen. So when he built the screen, I have a 150-inch diagonal acoustic transparent screen. And so in the design process, I was talking to him and I said, there's two things I really want in this redesign of my front wall. I want to have easy access behind my equipment because I review home theater amplifiers and, like I said, processors and AVRs and things like that. So I want to be able to easily unhook those, climb behind there somehow, or at least get access behind there. And so he designed the bottom middle part of the cabinet to be able to easily roll out on 500-pound support rails. Basically, they'll support up to 500 pounds. And so I can slide that whole cabinet out, climb in behind there, and I can easily have access behind there. But the other big thing was I wanted easy access behind my screen. I love when guests come over and they've never seen my home theater, and I show them the screen and we look around the room, and then I show them what's behind the screen. And the way I do that is I can easily lift up my screen, and this massive 150-inch diagonal screen is supported by gas shocks, basically the same thing that you would use or that are used on your car's trunk and hood. If you've got like a hatchback or maybe a minivan or an SUV that has a trunk that lifts up. So those supports, those gas shocks support that. And so that was a super cool idea, but just over the past 5 or 6 years since we built it, those gas shocks have lost their strength. And so it's kind of now sagging, and sometimes I bang my head or a guest will be over here and they'll hit it. And I'm like, man, I need to replace those. And so we just, again, one of those things that's been neglected for quite some time, at least over a year. And so we looked up on Amazon, found the exact same length and size and capacity, and even just the way that they attach. And so today, these came in. So we're going to be installing those here in this video. And so a lot of you guys have always asked, like, Michael, how did you build your screen and what does that look like? I'm thinking about doing that in mine. And so I made a dedicated video on that. I'll link it in the description below, so you can check that out if you want to after this one. But it gives a closer look as to how we built the screen, as well as some links to my build thread. But we're going to go ahead and get these installed. We'll lift up the screen. I'll show you the problem that we were having, and then we'll just go through the process of installing them. So here we have my 150-inch diagonal acoustic transparent screen. This is a DIY screen, meaning we build it ourselves, me and a friend of mine. So to get behind the screen, there's a little latch under here. And as you can see, the screen lifts up really easy with the gas shocks. But the problem is, as soon as I let go, kind of sags, and of course you're going to bump your head. So today we're going to fix that. All right, so the first thing we want to do is extend this all the way up. So I've just got this little extension pole that I got out of my garage. I'm going to put that right in there, tighten it down. I'm just going to lift this all the way up, lock that in place, and that way the frame is fully supported. So we're just going to put the 1/2 inch wrench on there, Now I want to remember we've got a hole here and a hole here, so we're going to make sure we get it back in the same one. Then over here you can see we tried several different locations to get the right tension on the screen. So I'm going to just leave that on there. I'm going to go ahead and break this one loose. That just slides out. Put that back on there. Unscrew the second one. And we've got this installed in the second from the bottom hole there. Now with the new gas shocks, I'm using the same washer that we had on previously, as well as the nut. Slide that in there. Just hand tighten it for now. Take the other side, insert it in, just like that, and tighten it down. We'll tighten this one down, and then we'll repeat the same process for the other one. Now, if you're replacing the gas shocks and you do not have something that will support the weight of this while you replace them, one thing that you can do is use a set of vice grips on the old ones. Do not use this on the new ones because you'll damage this, but you just clamp it right here, and that will keep this pulled open so that it'll help support this while you change the opposite side. But in this case, we don't need these. So we'll go ahead and get this one swapped out, and then we'll finish the install. So now that we have both of the new gas shocks installed, it's time for the moment of truth. Let's go ahead and loosen this up. Oh yeah, she didn't budge at all. So that's exactly what I needed. Man, it's been super refreshing to be able to get some things done here in my own home theater. Well, if you found this video helpful, be sure to like and subscribe. I've also got a video here with more details on how I built my screen, as well as links to my build thread. Well, as always, you guys be blessed, and we'll catch you in the next video.